Good morning. Welcome to another Avian Home Adventures and happy Friday. We're going to give people a minute to log on, but while we're giving people a minute, I'm going to take an opportunity to talk about a really cool thing that we're doing tomorrow, which is Saturday, May the 9th, I believe.
8th.
May the 8th? Tomorrow, Saturday. It is the 9th. It is it's International Migratory Bird Day, and normally at the center we would have lots of really cool trail activities and having people come in and doing keeper talks with some of our migratory birds and having fun activities for folks to do on the trail. Obviously, because we're closed, we won't be doing that, so we're going to take it virtual. So tune in tomorrow to our Facebook. There's going to be lots of fun things. We've got lots of different videos featuring some of our migratory birds. They're only about 5 to 7 minutes, so they're fun little facts about broadwing hawks and peregrine falcons and some of the really awesome migratory birds. We will also have some really fun things that families can do at home. You guys can make really cool bird feeders out of things that you'll find in your yard or in your home. We are also doing a art contest. We're calling it a contest. It's not really a contest because there isn't a winner. But what we want is we want to see your creative side. So we want you guys to take pictures, make drawings, sculptures, poems, any medium of art. We want to see it. So the contest will be going from tomorrow, Saturday, through Monday, and all you have to do is submit a picture or the actual drawing or whatever you did, submit it to our Facebook, and for every submission you will receive one free admission to the Raptor Center when we reopen. So join us tomorrow for International Migratory Bird Day. So today's Avian Home Adventure is going to be, we're going to go in with our Saker falcon, and we are going to give her this beautiful smorgasbord. So this is just an example of one of the enrichment items that we can give our birds. This is all things that I found either in my home or in the woods. So we've just got a paper egg crate. Obviously we're not going to give the birds the styrofoam or the plastic egg crates. A big thing that we have to be thinking about when we offer enrichment to our birds is safety. So if she were to accidentally ingest some of this paper, if she decides that she wants to tear it up, this is not going to harm her in any way if she were to accidentally ingest it. So that's why we use the paper one. There was a sticker covering the entire front of it, and I did take that sticker off just because we don't know what type of glue or adhesive they might have used, and again, just in an interest of safety for our birds, I took all of that off. This is just a thing of moss that I found on a tree behind her enclosure, and I put on that moss some of her food. So this is quail. This is a quail breast cut up. And then a Dixie cup that I found in my bathroom, and put the quail wing inside of it. All of this is just offering her different ways of foraging for her food. She's going to have to go in there and get out the quail wing. I put some other things like sweet gumballs in here that she could take out, she could throw, she could pick at. As you can see, we do leave the feathers on the quail that we give them, and that again offers them an opportunity to pluck at the feathers, which is something that falcons do naturally to their food that they eat.
I like the foot.
Yeah, the foot sticking out. We have some chicken, a chicken head. We have a quail head. Oftentimes the head is a very high, they really like it. So they'll pick at it, they'll pick out the eyeballs, they do all kinds of fun things. Some might think it's gross, some think it's fun. I guess it's just your personal preference.
Do the staff enjoy making enrichment?
Yes, absolutely. This was fun for me to make. I walked around and said, "Ooh, this would be fun. Ooh, I wonder what she'll do with this." And what we have to realize is that all of this is novel to her. And with these guys, sometimes novel can mean scary. So I could go in there and put this in front of her and she could fly in the opposite direction because it's a bright yellow egg carton and things look different than they normally do. So she might not do anything, or she could fly down and be really interested in it. So we never know. We have to set our expectations low, but yes, it is very fun for us to make it and to come up with creative and safe ways to enrich our birds. We don't always use food. I decided that because this was kind of overwhelming that I would put food in it, and that just gives it a higher probability that she'll go down and check it out. So we are going to go in with, again, our Saker falcon. Her name is Sekhmet, and I'll talk a little bit, once I put this down, I'll talk a little bit about her and her species. So I'm going to take the phone from Carol because the last thing we want is to confuse her even more with two people going inside. So I am just going to go in by myself. And what I'll do is I'll put the enrichment item down on the ground, and then I'll back away. I want to make sure that she is comfortable and she feels comfortable going to the item. So right now she is way up here on her cliff that we've given her. So Saker falcons are a really large species of falcons, so she's gonna fly around and hopefully go check out the enrichment. We'll see. We'll give her a second. See if she wants to check it out. So not surprisingly, she went for the giant hunk of quail breast. And we'll see if she wants to come up to her perch to eat it. And if she does feel comfortable enough, once she settles in, then I'll do some more talking about her. So as you can see, she is a larger species of falcon. You guys met our lanner falcon the other day. So she's a little bit larger than he is, but not going to be as large as something like the gyr falcon. These guys are found mainly in the Eurasian area, so Eastern Europe and across through Asia. They have been known, oh, I might have gotten a little close. She's gonna fly around with that quail on her foot. There we go. Okay, she has found a comfortable spot now for her to enjoy her food. So they have been known to go into northern Africa for the winter months. Here's a good shot of her with her quail. So her name, Sekhmet, it's actually a really cool name that was given to her. She's gonna go all the way up to the top and eat. It was given to her by a staff member's uncle. Sekhmet is an Egyptian warrior goddess, and I was doing some research on it, and it's also a sun deity or a sun goddess, which is quite appropriate for a falcon because they are a diurnal or daytime species of raptor. And because they hunt during the day, falcons all kind of have the same uniform, and that is going to be those dark stripes that you can see coming down from her eyes. Those are called her malar marks. And what those do is reduce the glare from the sun bouncing off her cheeks. You may have seen baseball players or football players put on eye black. They'll put that under their eyes, and that's doing the same thing. That is reducing glare from the sun to help them see better. They did not come up with that on their own. They stole that from falcons. And there's another animal, if anyone has a guess, there's another animal that has those malar marks as well coming down from their face. If there's any guesses, put them in the comments. So, a warrior goddess and a sun goddess, which is quite appropriate for a falcon. I was doing some research on Sekhmet, and I found that she often got the nickname the Lady of Slaughter, which is, I think, an amazing nickname. And also, as you can see, Sekhmet tearing apart this quail, it's very appropriate. Yes, Amelia, cheetahs. They have those malar marks or those stripes coming down from their eyes, as well as falcons. Is she native to North Carolina? No, this species of falcon is found in Eurasia, so Europe, Asia, and they have been known to go down into northern Africa. So she's finished up that quail, so I'm gonna move to the side again and give her an opportunity if she would like to go down back to her enrichment pile and see if she wants to take something else. People often ask us how we design the birds' enclosures. So what we want to do is give them lots of options for perching. We also give them different, you can see this one it's got food bits on it and a little bit of feathers, but we like to give them different textures. So this is almost like a poultry mat. And then over here we've got more of a natural tree bark. And all of those different textures can help keep their feet nice and healthy. We also look at their natural history and where these birds naturally like to live. Falcons are cliff nesters, and it's kind of where they like to retreat to. And so we have given her some really high perches in her enclosure. And as you can see, that's where she feels comfortable going, is high up. That's where she likes to eat. As you can see probably underneath her, there's some poop. So that's where she likes to spend a lot of her time, is high up. So she is a 10-year-old female, and she is going to weigh in at just over 2 pounds, which is not, again, a lot of people are surprised by that they don't weigh very much, but birds have to be light so that they can fly, so she weighs just over 2 pounds. So this type of falcon, the Saker falcon, is the national bird of both Mongolia and Hungary. And they are a very popular bird in the sport of falconry, and that's because they are persistent hunters. They are very, very good hunters, and they like to utilize a horizontal chase as opposed to more of a dive that things like the peregrine falcon like to use, and they can catch some larger prey items. They prefer to catch things like larger rodents and other birds. Two things that come to mind are going to be ground squirrels and things like pigeons. So medium-sized prey items, but they can pick up larger things. Get an up close of her. She may have filled up, so she may not come back down to the enrichment. It also might just be me being in here, that she's not comfortable coming down to check out her enrichment items. So a lot of times what we'll do is we will leave the items in with our birds, and we'll come back in a little bit and check on them. And usually by that time the bird has jumped down, has checked things out, has become a little bit more familiar with the items, and by that time might be doing things like tearing it up, dragging it around, carrying it around, stashing it. They do all kinds of different things with the enrichment items that we give them. How does she compare in size to the peregrines? She is definitely going to be larger than a peregrine falcon. So the Saker falcon is unfortunately an endangered species, and that's because a lot of the countries that these birds inhabit, they don't have protective laws for their falcons, and so these birds are often bought and sold as pets. So because of that, their numbers really have declined in the wild. How fast is the Saker falcon? Not as fast as the peregrine, but because the peregrine reaches those top speeds when they are diving, and the Saker falcon doesn't really do that, but they are fast. I would say upwards of 100 miles per hour when they're chasing after their prey. I did find something cool when I was in here earlier, and I'll switched over here. So we've talked a little bit about pellets, and I found one of her pellets. So I've got some to compare to. So I've got one of her pellets, and then I've got an owl pellet. So as you can see in the owl pellet, when I break it open, all those white things in there, those are bones. So those are going to be, the fact that this is black lets me know that this was probably a mouse that had black fur. So those are going to be mouse bones. And so that's why owl pellets are a little bit different than the rest of our birds, because they cannot digest the bones. So when they cough up their pellets, the bones come with it. So again, there's some of the bones. And then this is one of Sekhmet's pellets. And really, it's just a big old hairball. So she probably had a white mouse or a white rat. And when I go through here, it's really just all hair. But they can't digest it, so they cough it up. So we had some questions about pellets and their contents, so there was that. I also found, and I think I've messed them up a little bit in the process of trying to hold on to them, I found some of her feathers. So it was clear to me when I walked in here that she had done some molting of her feathers. So this is a close-up of one of her really, really beautiful feathers. They have really, really pretty colors. And I found a couple of them. And again, I think I ruined the top of them. But there's some of the feathers. All right, well, I think we'll give her an opportunity. She's still up here. I think she's A, full from that quail chunk that she got, and B, I think she's waiting for me to leave so that she can go down and get some of the rest of her food. Sekhmet is on our trail, so when we reopen, please come out and visit her. She is a beautiful bird. She's in one of the first enclosures, so she's a bird that you can see right when you come in. All right, well, thank you guys so much for joining us. If you have other questions, please put them in the comments and we'll come back and answer them. And also, don't forget to join us tomorrow for International Migratory Bird Day. Have a great weekend.